What up, guys? As you all know, it's your boy Trade by Babs, and I'm pretty much in good sales right now, as analyzed. And if you guys have been following me, you know I'm selling good. So I'm pretty much in good sales right now. So I'm just going to be explaining why I am selling good using my three simple concepts ICA, which stands for intention, correction, and execution. As you all know, intention, correction, and execution. So I'm going to be explaining the right now with this three concept that I use. And that's what I've been using and that's what I'll keep using. I'm not gonna be changing anything for the purpose of simplicity and so you guys can understand what I'm trying to communicate to you. So I see. So this is how I'm feeling good. So let me delete all the drawings. So this is how I'm selling good. I could see that good is on a downtrend. It's very, very clear to me. I've been seeing that on the weekly time frame, on from the daily time frame that good is on a downtrend. Since the time it broke past this higher low, since the time it broke past this higher low, I know that anything under here is signifying downtrend. Anything under here is signifying downtrend because this was a previous break of an higher low on the daily time frame. And you know, the higher the time frame, the more respect it holds to structure. The higher the time frame, the more respect it holds structure holds. Like the more validated the structure is. Let me just write that for you. The higher the time frame, the higher the time frame, the time frame, the more valid, the more, how am I gonna put this now? The more stronger the structure, the more stronger the structure is respected. So you guys can jot that down. The more stronger the structure is respected. So I knew that anything under here is just going to be sales because if we are on a downtrend, you always want to follow the higher time frame structure. Just like how my mentor would say, put yourself in a position where the probability of you being wrong is really, really low. So you know this is a game of probability. So you have to put yourself in a position where the probability of you being wrong is very, very low. So that comes first from following the trend. If you are following the trend of the market, the probability that you will be wrong is very, very low. If you are following the higher time frame, the probability that you'll be wrong is very, very low. So you want to keep respecting this probability of being wrong. So I pretty much do that anything under here is sales. Why? So I started observing break of lows. You can see this. This was a low here. You saw this break. I started observing break of low with respect to what that downtrend is saying. Then another low here. How do I know it's a low? We could see buying pressure here. We could see buying pressure at this point. We could see buying pressure at this point. We could see buying pressure at this point. So these are lows. We could see buying pressure at this point. So yeah, this is what I currently looking at now. This is what I'm currently marking out. So we know that this point is an area where buying pressure is observed. This is an area where buying pressure is observed. So if you just wanna like we just wanna put it more on the 4 hour time frame. So you just keep scrolling down to the next time frame to see what's happening, So without saying too much, you could see this is low, lower highs, lower low, lower highs, lower low. The trend is established here. Remember, structure creates trend. Structure creates trend. How do you know something is a trend? If if one person buys an iPhone, if one person buys an iPhone, that's not a trend. But if two people like buy an iPhone, then it's a trend because we're already more than one using an iPhone. So if one lower high and the lower low is formed, that's not yet a downtrend. That's just a structure creating. Then if we now have two lower highs and two lower lows, we already established a trend. So you guys should know we already established a trend. You guys should note that down. So this is a break of a low. You can see this low where buying pressure is observed. This is a break of a low. And this is what I want to be seeing in a downtrend. This is a break of a low on the 4 hour time frame. Always note that you want to mark your intention. Mark your intention. Mark your intention. Mark your intention. Let's put I for intention. Mark your intention on the daily slash hour time frame. This is where your intention wants to come from. This is where your intention wants to come from. An intention of the 15 minutes or the 30 minutes time frame is less likely to be respected. It's fake because the lower time frame are liars. This is an intention that the market is breaking. This is an intention that the market is going down. How did I know? This is an area where buying pressures are felt. This is an area where buying pressure was felt. Remember, a low is any point where buying pressure is felt. A low, a low is any point where buying pressure is felt. This is a low. A low is any point where buying pressure is felt. So a break below that means the sellers are now dominant and that buying pressure is no longer felt again. So this is an intention that the market is going down. You see it. This is where the intention came from, breaking this low. So this is intention. So after the intention, there is always a correction. After an intention, there is always a correction. So I just want to go to the higher time frame for correction. So you can put this here. Mark mark your correction on 1 hour time frame. So you want to mark your correction on the 1 hour time frame. So you know that this point from here to here, this is intention. This is intention. This is intention. And remember, the intention might be very, very small. The intention might be very, very small, but the correction might go way bigger. Why the intention is looking small is because from the point where it breaks a low to where it's creating a new low is the intention level. But remember, this has been happening from here. This has been happening from here. The sellers have been pushing the market here. But the only way it was valid to be an intention was it breaking the point where buying pressure was felt initially. So keep that in mind. So this is a correction. Mean that the next thing we saw then was higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. So why I didn't so this is where my first trade come from. This is where my first trade come from. A break below this low. This is where my first trade come from. My first entry is from here. So I'm pretty much in some sales around here. I'm pretty much in some sales around here. But this is not the one I want you guys to look into. So I'm pretty much in some sales around here. But this is not what I want you guys to look into. So yes, so this is correction. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and higher lows. So how do you know a correction has ended? How do you know a correction has ended? So a correction ending, just know a correction ending mark execution on 1 hour. Correction ending is just an execution from it. So how do you know a correction has ended? Remember, the intention is bearish, the correction is bullish. Whenever the market signals something like the correction, whenever the market signals something like the intention during the correction phase, that means the correction has ended. What do I mean? What do I mean? So we have been seeing lows, highs, higher low, higher high. This is the original creator that created this one. This is another original creator that created this high. So this is no original creator. This is no original creator. This is no original creator. This is original creator. So anything above here like this are not original creator. So this is original creator. By coming to respect another higher leg, this is original creator. This is original creator. Then this is another original creator. So the moment the market breaks this low, watch this. The moment the market breaks this low, because this is an original creator. The moment the market breaks it, this is an original creator of this high. This is an original creator of this high in this correction phase. So the moment the market breaks it, it's an intention that that market doesn't want to go up again. So if it's an intention that it doesn't want to go up again, that is trying to tell us that the correction is now ending. I don't know if you guys are getting me. It means the correction is now ending. Watch this. An original low created an high in a correction phase. But we know that we shouldn't follow the correction because trading the correction is you putting yourself in the probability of you being wrong. But trading with the intention, which is the direction of the trend, is putting yourself in a probability where you are where the putting yourself in a probability where the chances of you being wrong is very, very slim. So this is an original creator. When the market broke this original creator, it signals that yes, we are now in line with the intention phase. This leads to the execution. So we then have you see a break below a low. This is a break below a low. You can see it, a break below it, then the intention cut. And then I just entered under this level of intention. So my stop loss is above these lower highs. Then my take profit is the next target. So you see that the intention will be in line. Where you are entering on 1 hour will be respected with the 4 hour also. The 4 hour is trying to create like it's giving us like a lower high here. So this is lower highs. It's giving us like a lower high here. Giving us like a lower high here. So this is not guaranteed that the market will sell. So this is not a financial advice for disclaimer. This is not a guarantee that the market will sell. This is just me putting myself in a position where the probability of me being wrong is very, very low. So this is how I make my decisions in the market. This is how I make my decisions in the market. If you want to learn from me for free, I don't do mentorship courses or anything. If you want to learn from me for free, I have a Telegram channel of 30 subscribers. I have a Telegram channel of 30 subscribers at Bavstot. You're gonna see there. I have a Telegram of 40, 40 subscribers at Bavstot. You see, this is when this is when I took the trade. This is when I took the trade. So I've been explaining it for them. I've been explaining for them. So Bavstot, this is where I share my free trades. It's also in the link in my YouTube bio. So this is why I'm selling good. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learn. So forex is easy if you can just put yourself in a position where the probability of you being wrong is very, very low. So subscribe to this channel. Peace.